Hello, I think I am live. Let me have a look if everybody is coming in and if everybody can see me. Just let me know if you can hear me. If you're here, welcome to today's Facebook Live. We are talking about let's make greeting cards. That is the course that is coming up on Monday. It's starting on Monday with Sally Swindell. And I am super excited about this course. We filmed it this summer with Sally. I was super happy to be actually traveling to Sally Swindell because she has been part of my creative journey for quite a few years. Actually, she when I started blogging and when I started exploring my creative endeavors and the ways I wanted to go and who I was as an artist. I'm still exploring that. But when I was exploring the ways you could create, I found They Draw and Cook through a friend of mine, and I started making illustrated recipes and creating them for They Draw and Cook. And I loved it, and I published a lot of those, and at some point I was asked to make a cookbook with all my illustrated recipes. So as you can see, that is like super important stuff, and I felt so motivated and supported by Sally and her brother Nate, who run They Draw and Cook. And ever since I submitted my first recipe there, they have been cheerleading and they have been so supportive. So that's also why we want them to be part of the faculty in Sketchbook School. Nate has done a course with us, has made a course with us, Let's Make a Map. An amazing course. You can get that on demand on sketchbookschool.com. If you haven't taken it, do it because it's a lot of fun. And I'm really bad at maps, but making maps is just really great because you can make mistakes and you can make it as illustrative as you want. And now his sister, Sally, is also part of faculty. So I was super happy to actually meet her in person after all those years, visit her in Ohio. And since Morgan, our Dean of Students, is also in Ohio, it only made sense to bring her over, and she was our assistant, a lovely assistant as well. So we had sort of a slumber party, the three of us. It was really great. Sally welcomed us in her home, and it was really great. She has a doodle chair in one of the upstairs rooms, and we've been doodling on that. There's a little tiny video of that in class as well, so you'll see that if you sign up for Let's Make Greeting Cards. So I will tell you just a little bit about greeting cards and about, maybe I have some stories for you, I'm not sure, about the shoot, some behind the scenes stuff. But I really want to know if you have any questions. I can see that people are popping into this Facebook Live, so welcome. If you have any questions about the course, Let's Make Greeting Cards, please post them in the comments, and I will try and answer them as best as possible. So let me just tell you a little bit about why greeting cards. Sally Swindell is one of the top greeting cards designers in the US. She works for American Greetings, for example, and has some really great works for different companies, and she has a fantastic style. She actually dares to say that she cannot draw. Well, she can, but she feels like it's not, it's not maybe the way other people draw with a lot of shading and hatching and all that kind of stuff. It's more illustrating what she does, and it's just really excellent. If you don't know her work, check her out on Instagram. She is on They Draw and Cook. That's her handle, at They Draw and Cook. But her own handle is Sally Style. So check that out and see what kind of colorful stuff she does. And also today she has taken over our Instagram feed. So that is on Instagram at Sketchbook School. And there she is actually giving great tips on how to get ideas. So if you want to check that out, go ahead and do it, because she has really simple ideas that can bring you a long way. And that's really all what's happening in the course, Let's Make Greeting Cards. She gives us ideas that are super helpful and that can actually bring your sketchbook pages to a different level. You can get ideas from your own sketchbooks and make greeting cards out of them. Now, so why greeting cards? We all love getting cards, don't we? It's so great to get snail mail, and it's also really nice to send them. Because if you send a card, it's a special, personal, maybe sort of a present or a gift to the person you send it to, because you're thinking of them and you are actually taking the time to write something and to put it in an envelope, stamp it, address it, and send it to them. And then a few days later, the receiver is actually getting the card. And if you make the card yourself, now that is seriously personal. And of course, what also is special about greeting cards is that it really connects us, because there are so many occasions that you can send a greeting card for. It could be, okay, I made a list here because I just can't remember it all because there's so much, but here's a list. So the most obvious occasions are birthday. That's, if someone has a birthday, you can send them a message on Facebook, but everybody does that. Send them a card and tell them happy birthday. Okay, so birthday, wedding anniversary, a new baby, get well soon, sympathy cards, of course, engagement, wedding, bridal showers or baby showers. You can add a card, you give it with the gift you're giving the bride or the mother. Congratulations could be used for anything. Could be used for a job promotion, graduation, driver's license, any accomplishment that someone or any achievement that someone has done. That could be definitely worth a card. What else? Thank you. That's a card that I will probably make for Sally soon. That will be my homework in class next week. Friendship, so you can actually tell a friend how much they mean to you. That's one of the things with greeting cards. Sometimes when you're with a friend, you really feel like, it means a lot to you, but you don't really say it because the other person feels the same and you don't really want to give words to it or whatever. But if you do it in a card, you can give words to that kind of stuff, to really appreciate them and to tell them that you appreciate them. And that goes for a lot of greeting cards. Also, the sorry card, tell someone you were sorry. For some people, that is really, really hard to say if it's in person, because it might be attached to a lot of emotion, or it might be kind of hard because You don't even see each other that much anymore because of something. In a card, you can give words to that, and you can actually say so much more than you would say in real life. That is why greeting cards are so amazing. What else? Love. You can tell someone you love them. You can send someone a card if they go on a trip, bon voyage, or something like that. Valentine's Day, of course, is a big one. That's a lot of people send cards then. Christmas, of course, and all the other holidays. Mother's Day, Father's Day, a new home, and also a real nice one, thinking of you. So that could be the just because card, because you're thinking of someone, and it's kind of like a friendship card, like, hey, I was thinking of you and I appreciate you. But it can also be if you know that someone's going through a tough time, then you can send them a card just to tell them that you're thinking of them, and it will be like a hug in an envelope, right? So those are some of the many occasions that are kind of obvious why we send greeting cards. But there are so many other reasons to send greeting cards. I just have here, I wrote down some stuff. So there are these holidays that are kind of wacky, you know, and you can find them online. There are holiday calendars online with odd holidays. So here's just a few ones that stand out to me. And I'm like, that's a perfect good reason to send someone a card. Spaghetti Day. I can already imagine how to even, make a drawing with a bowl of spaghetti and just send someone a card and telling them Happy Spaghetti Day. It's weird, but it's fun, Brothers and Sisters Day. It could be nice to send to your brother or sister, or more of them if you have more siblings. Pumpkin Day, Nurses Day, Pie Day. Here's a nice one that I found. I think it's in May somewhere. I'm not sure. I need to check. Dance Like a Chicken Day. That is a reason to send a greeting card, isn't it? Popcorn Day, Limerick Day. You can actually add a limerick to your card and hand letter it. That's awesome. Cheese Bowl Day. I don't even know what a cheese bowl is. Leprechaun Day. Very cool. Waffle Day. Bacon Day. Teddy Bear Day. Neither Rain Nor Snow Day. It's a day. And Fortune Cookie Day. Well, I could go on and on and on. But all these odd holidays are actually great idea starters to make a drawing on a card and send it to someone. That's really one of the fun things to do. Check out holidayinsights.com. You'll find a lot of odd holidays that can give you ideas for greeting cards. Let me have a look, because I see that Kim has a question. Most of the cards shown in the course trailer look digitally made. Yes. Is the focus of this course about turning your sketches into digital format? Do I need Photoshop or any other software? It's actually something I wanted to address as well. Sally works digitally mostly. She works from her sketchbooks, so she always draws whatever on paper, and then she takes it into Illustrator, and from there she works on it to make cards out of it and then send it to the company that she works for. So she will tell you a little bit about her process, but you don't need this at all. So she uses Illustrator. You could also use Photoshop, but you don't need to digitize your art for greeting cards. She will also give you loads of ideas to just make handmade cards and send those out. Well, if you are interested in selling your cards or sending your designs to potential customers or greeting card companies, then it would be nice to do something digital. But the course is not a how-to on how to do your drawings digitally. So what she does is makes a drawing, digitizes them, and then she finishes them off and sends them to the company. What we will be doing in class is having a lot of fun, coming up with ideas, making designs, and then you can do whatever you want with the design, either just leaving it as it is or bringing it into Photoshop or Illustrator to make it something that could actually be printed. And you can print it yourself as well, of course. So we'll see that happening in class as well. I hope that answers your question a little bit, Kim. Let me know if I wasn't clear about it. There was something else I wanted to say about this, but I forgot. So there you have it. For me, it's Friday afternoon. So I forget things. Anyway, let's see what else is there. Joy says, I suspect they look so polished because they're actually printed cards that Sally has done for American Greetings. I'm not going to do anything digitally. I think it can be done anyway. That is so true. You got it, Joy. You can do it anyway. And we'll be doing that in class, in her demos. Sally is actually just taking like pieces of craft paper to create a card with, and just like cardstock, I think it's called. You just fold it, and then you already have a greeting card, and you draw something on the front, write something in the inside, and that's it. And of course, don't forget, if you do that, if you make cards by hand, you can add a lot of fun stuff like glitter and feathers and extra poppy things that pop off and out, and googly eyes. So you might run to the craft shop to find some things that you want to use, maybe, because it will be fun to add all that fun stuff to a card. And of course, you can also cut shapes of cards and that kind of stuff, so it doesn't have to be a square card. So make sure you have some cardstock, some what's it called, cardboard. You can even make cards with print paper. I made one for my last Draw Tip Tuesday. This is just on print paper, cheap paper, and made a pop-up card for it. So, but also I made a card out of the back of what's it called? The back of a notepad. You know, it's just cardboard, and you can use that as well for your card. You just pop it in an envelope, and you have a fantastic greeting card. So yes, Joy, you got it. You can do it whatever way you want. And speaking of tools, you can use any tool you like that works for you. So maybe you are a digital artist. Maybe you really like drawing on an iPad. Use the iPad. Or maybe you are a fantastic watercolor artist. Well, go ahead and make your designs using your watercolors. Or maybe you want to just use pen and ink. That could work really well too. Sally will be working with pen and ink in class, and also color pencils, because she just loves using those. And she picks the best color palettes. That's really, really very nice. So, but then again, that's what she does, and she really encourages us in class to use whatever you want. And she'll also encourage you to create your own style. Even if you don't really know what that style is, once you're actually doing it, once you're actually drawing, and by the tools that you choose, and by the things that you draw, and the iconic things that you might be drawing, that is actually already your style. So don't worry about whether or not you would be a good designer or a good illustrator, or you have a specific style. This is all about exploring that. So it will be a lot of fun to do that in a playful way by making cards and actually sending them to people as well. And it will be so great because people will respond to it, thank you for the card, and that will also tell you how it's received, how your art is received. And maybe some of the cards you might not even want to send because they're so cool. So Kim, good, you're convinced. Oh, I'm glad to see you in class next week. That's so good. Where was I? Let me think, because I was going to talk about tools and I sort of did that. Let me see if I have any other notes about it. So, yeah. You can use your sketchbook, of course. You will use your sketchbook, but we are going to revisit pages in our sketchbooks that might not really feel like, this could be a card, but it will give you ideas to actually create a new design. Or maybe it's a color palette that you want to use, or a certain object or subject. So you're going to use your sketchbook as an archive, but also to make drawings and write stuff. If there's a certain topic that we are going to address in class, then you want to really make some notes about it, take some notes that pop up into your mind, and you can use those in your actual design. You never start a design right away with the first idea. No, you have to brainstorm a little bit, and you can do that in your sketchbook. Your sketchbook, and what would be handy if you want to create handmade cards. It'll be fun to have some blank cards or cardstock or whatever it's called, cardboard, print paper you can use, but also colored paper would be good. And if you want to add glitter or other stuff, you should really go to the crafts shop and find some fun stuff that will work for your cards. It'll be playful and fun. And get some glue then too, if you want to add googly eyes or other fun stuff. If you want to take your cards into digital art, you can use your Photoshop or Illustrator or whatever program you use, and then you can print it out and then send the printed cards, which might be a good idea if you take this class because of the holidays and you want to make one fantastic design that you want to send to everybody. That's an option too. But all the stuff that you will get from this course, you can revisit over and over again, because, as I told you, there are so many occasions to send a card, and once you have started to make your own cards, you don't really want to buy cards anymore. You just want to make more cards, and because it just adds a lot of personality to the message you are sending to whoever you are sending your card to. And then there's something else that you might want to stock up on if you are sending out cards and if you are making your own cards. Buy some really cool envelopes. There are so many colorful envelopes. You can get a lot of colors and different sizes as well. Make sure that you don't buy super big ones because you might need more stamps for those. So check that to be sure. And speaking of stamps, You can also have your own stamp designs printed. So that might be actually a really nice addition to your holiday cards or whatever cards you want to send out. You can make your own design, have those printed on stamps, and that will add even more to the personal touch of your envelope, actually. And of course, make a little drawing on the envelope before you send it out. Yes, Gwen, it's getting more and more difficult to resist. I will send you a card, and I want you to send me a card back, so you better sign up. Okay, that's a little bit mean, sorry. But yeah, you don't really want to miss this course because it's fun. And I don't know if I've told you, but Sally is such a great teacher. She is such a fun person. I kind of want to be like her, or maybe I even want to be her. You understand what I mean? She has such a bubbly personality, and it's just really fun hanging out with her, and you will see in class, she is just the best. So, yeah. Oh, I see my dad also came in. Hi. And I saw Zainab saying hi. So good to see everyone here in this live session. So are there any other questions? Because I sort of really rushed through all my notes that I took. Let me see if I have anything else that I wanted to share with you. Sally will also give you some tips in case you are interested to actually become a greeting card illustrator like her. If you're, you can take this class if you just love sketchbooking and love to take your sketches to a different level, then this is just a fantastic course. But it will also really help you if you want to, sell your cards maybe, sell your designs. There is actually a section in our course where you can submit to a real greeting cards company. You can submit your design, and it might be used to put in their line of cards, and then you can actually make a little money of the drawings that were first just initial sketches. So she will give you loads of tips on design, on illustration, what to do and what not to do, what to really focus on, how to make your drawings or make your designs most appealing. She talks about hand lettering a lot as well. She has some really great tricks to make your hand lettering super fun, and even if you have a handwriting that's wonky or you don't really like it, she has some tricks that really help you to make your hand lettering more fun and add it to your sketchbook pages and to your design for the greeting cards. Marlene is asking, what paper do you advise for postcards? Watercolor paper? Anything really? As I said, I just use the back of a notebook to make a card on. So you can use that. If you want to use watercolor, it might be handy to have like a little bit of a thick watercolor paper. That works. Oh, and you have these... those are sort of notebook type, and they are watercolor paper, but on the back there's lines for the address printed and also like a square for your stamp. I'm not sure what the brand is, but I think Strathmore has them, and there's different brands who have those, and that's watercolor paper. It's the format of a card, a greeting card, and you just paint on the front, and then on the back you write your message and you can send it out. So that might be a good one, Marlene. But you can also use like thick cardstock or anything that feels like it could work with your choice of tools. I used just sort of floppy, thick paper for, this is a sneak peek, this is next week's Draw Tip Tuesday. So you can use anything. You probably have enough already in your art supply archive. But if you go to a crafts shop, they might actually have papers that, or actually like cards, blank cards that you can use for it. So have a look at it and see what you think works best for your choice of tools. So if you use watercolors, I would recommend watercolor paper. But if you use markers or color pencils, you can use basically anything. Hang on, markers might bleed through, so just check out if the paper is thick enough. Sen is asking, what is the base material of this course? Some material or digital software? Some examples posted in the group look digitally designed. Yes, I think you came in a little bit later, Sen. But again, you don't need to have Photoshop or Illustrator if you don't have that or if you don't know it. I am certainly not going to use it in class because I'm also going to take the class. I'll just be using any tool I like on paper, and I might glue stuff on it, and I might cut my paper into different sizes and shapes because I just don't feel like bringing it into digital art or into Photoshop. But yes, Sally, who is the teacher, most of her work is digital. That's just the way she works. But she always works with the drawings that she makes in her sketchbook. And then she takes those in to digitize and to add colors and to have different color palettes. And that's just her choice of tools, so to say. But you don't need that. You can use whatever you like. You can just use pen and paper if that's what you want, and you can create fantastic handmade cards with that. So I hope that answers your question, Sen. Any other questions? Let me think if I can share any stories I have for you, like behind the scenes stories when I was there with Sally. Well, we had actually an extra day before the shoot, which was awesome. So both I and Morgan came in, and we were welcomed in Sally's home. She cooked fantastic meals for us, and she really pampered us. We both had a really nice bed to sleep in. It was really great. And also we went out. It was in summer, so we went out for a brisk walk, I can say. It was Sally really likes hiking. You'll see in the videos, in the class videos. Thank you, Marlene, for popping by. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you in class. And San, okay, sounds good. I'm glad you got it. So we went for a hike, and it was the weather was really great, and well, Morgan and I were like, okay, we'll put our running shoes on and we'll go for a little walk, and then we drive to this really beautiful forest, and Sally gets out and she's like, okay, let's go, and she starts walking like crazy fast. It was like Morgan and I were really sort of, well, we couldn't catch up. We couldn't keep up, even though Morgan and I both are runners. Well, Morgan is a runner. I run sometimes. But anyway, we just couldn't keep up because hiking is something totally different than running. And it took us a while to get into that cadence of walking, and Sally she kept on talking and hiking, and she was just, talking to us like we were like way in the back, and she just kept on walking and just talking behind her, and that was really fun. So that sort of shows the energy that she has. She has such a fantastic energy to her, and her you will really get that in class, because she's just a lot of fun. Okay, that was just a babbling extra a little bit behind the scenes, the only thing that I could think of right now. I can see that Zineb is saying that her son Bullet is also ready for the course. Oh, that is so cool. So for the new year, you are going to create cards. That's awesome. I think that's a great excuse to take this course, because there's the holidays is coming up, and the holidays are coming up, sorry, and we want to send out cards to people, right? So why not make them ourselves? Okay, before I start babbling more and more, I'm kind of done here. I hope you get the idea. You can use any tools you like. You don't need to take it into digital. You don't need any digital program for it. You don't need to digitize your work. You will get a lot of tips to create your own cards if you want to sell them, or if you want to submit your designs to greeting card companies. You'll get a lot of tips. If you don't, you will get a lot of tips to create cards, how to design them, and all those tips will take you a long way, way after this class. Take your own tools, whatever you like. It will add to the personality of your cards. So if you don't have any other questions, then I really, really hope you will sign up for Let's Make Greeting Cards. It starts on Monday, so you have this weekend to think about it, but you don't really have a reason to think about it because it's too much fun to miss. So head on over to sketchbookschool.com and find Let's Make Greeting Cards. If you have any questions, you can still post them here, or you can send us an email, or put your questions in the Facebook group, wherever, and we'll be answering them. But really, don't miss it. It's so much fun with Sally. Let's Make Greeting Cards. I hope to see you in class. No, Lisa, there will not be a step-by-step for digital art, because this is not about digitizing your work. You're going to create cards by hand with your pens and paper and color pencils, whatever you like. You don't need any experience with digital, so don't worry about it. Have a great weekend, everybody. Go to sketchbookschool.com, sign up for Let's Make Greeting Cards, and I'll see you in class.